Okay, 20-point lead. Almost gone. That buzzer beater, it just hung there, right? Finally dropped.
Woo! Yeah.
But let's be real here. Should it have even been that close? I mean, that's the big question everyone's asking, isn't it?
Definitely.
Is this Nuggets playoff thing we're seeing? Is it about the whole team digging deep? Or is it really just one guy? Like one absolutely phenomenal player dragging everyone else along?
It's a fair question, especially after what happened before.
Exactly. Just a few days back after that bad loss, people were, sharpening their knives, pointing right at the three-time MVP. Some folks were saying the series was basically over.
The narrative flipped quick.
So fast. How did they pull this win out? We're going to dive deep into this Nuggets playoff roller coaster. We're really zooming in on Nikola Jokic, his crazy dominance when, let's face it, the team around him seems, well, shaky in spots.
Yeah, there are definitely some perceived weaknesses there.
So if you want the real story, the key stuff, without all the extra noise, you're in the right spot. We're breaking down this game to figure out why everyone's calling Jokic the best player on the planet right now, even with the team struggling like this.
Right. Let's unpack it.
Okay, so first off, that near collapse. Losing a 20-point lead in the fourth. Wow.
That's not ideal. It really shows a vulnerability, doesn't it? But at the end of the day, a win's a win.
True, one win's a win, but it makes you think, how can a team look so good for 3 quarters and then just wobble?
It's puzzling. And remember, this came right after Jokic got a ton of criticism for that earlier loss.
Oh yeah, the expectations for a 3-time MVP are just sky high, aren't they? If the team slips up, he's the first one people look at.
Which brings us to the third quarter of this game. Because, wow, that wasn't just good offense. It felt like a masterclass.
Totally. He was basically running the whole show.
He wasn't just scoring, he was dictating everything.
Yeah, like that screen he set for Gordon early on took Harden right out of the play.
Yeah.
Simple, but effective.
And then the variety. The turnaround overdone, then that play where he inbounded to Brown, moved without the ball, pump faked.
And drained the corner 3. Smooth. For a guy his size, that's just, special.
It really is. And it wasn't just finesse either. He was physical. Scored inside with that soft touch over Zubac.
Right.
Drove past Batum for a finish. Even used his strength, like sealing off Derrick Jones Jr. for another bucket.
And the movement 3. He just kept coming. Relentless.
A complete offensive arsenal on display in, 12 minutes?
It felt like he was just dragging them forward by himself.
And a passing too.
4 assists in that quarter.
Finding MPJ for those open looks, crucial.
It seemed like every time Porter Jr. got a sliver of space, boom, Jokic found him. And that pass to Watson for the dunk when they doubled him.
That's just incredible court vision, high IQ play. It puts defenses in a bind, right? Double him, he finds the open guy, don't double him.
I mean, he probably scores, yeah.
That's his gravity, as they call it. He just warps the defense, creates chaos for them, opportunities for his teammates.
Like that dribble handoff with Murray, people sometimes called, fake assists.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But look what happened. Zubac had to clear out. Murray gets an easier lane. It's maybe not direct, but Jokic's action created that layup. It works.
Good point. It's effective playmaking, even if it's not a traditional dime. And the stats for that quarter alone, 16 points, 8 boards, 4 assists.
I mean, some guys would kill for that stat line over a full game.
Right. To do that in 1 quarter under pressure,
yeah,
it just shows his impact.
Absolutely. And we need to remember this isn't a one-off thing. He's been doing this in the playoffs for the last 3 seasons. Consistently amazing.
Yeah, even his down games are incredible. The start of this series, averaging, 26, 12, and 11.
Exactly. Still elite numbers, even if maybe not his absolute peak form some nights.
And get this stat, it kind of blows my mind. In their last 36 playoff games, when Jokic is on the floor, they've outscored their opponents in 28 of them. That's 78% of the time.
Wow. Okay, that really tells a story, doesn't it? When he plays, they generally win those minutes.
It really does. Which makes the bench situation look even starker.
Yeah, you notice it. In that second half, the starters basically had to play the whole way. There doesn't seem to be a lot of trust in the reserve.
Not compared to some other teams, like maybe OKC with their depth.
Right. The Nuggets bench. You look at guys like DeAndre Jordan, maybe Jalen Pickett. Is Westbrook fully healthy even? There seems to be a lack of, consistent shooting or top-tier defense there.
Which just puts more pressure on the starters, especially Jokic, doesn't it? They have to be almost perfect.
It really does. And that's where Aaron Gordon becomes so important.
Oh, totally. He's like the ultimate role player for Jokic, isn't he?
He really is. Does all the dirty work, defends, cuts. It just fits perfectly. Seems to know exactly where to be.
And Michael Porter Jr. too, especially playing hurt, apparently.
Yeah, hitting those huge shots despite the shoulder issue. That's massive.
Like that 3 off the Jokic kick out, the step back on TWOI,
Another one with Harden right on him.
and the corner 3 from Jokic again. His shooting is just vital.
Yeah.
If he's hitting, you can't just swarm Jokic.
Exactly. It keeps the defense honest. They have to respect MPJ's shot. It creates space.
And what about Christian Braun? He feels like a real X factor sometimes.
He does. When he's making those threes consistently, it adds another layer. Defenses tend to help off him, so if he punishes that...
It changes things, yeah.
So you add it all up. The talent comparison, maybe starting lineup questions, the bench difference, coaching experience, the injuries.
It looks like they're kind of up against it, doesn't it? On paper, at least.
Objectively, yeah. You could definitely argue they're facing some serious disadvantages in key spots.
But then
Yeah.
you always come back to the one guy.
You always come back to Nikola Jokic. He's the reason you just can't count them out. He elevates them so much.
He really is the difference maker.
Yeah.
Just carrying an incredible load. So wrapping up this deep dive, I think the main thing is, yeah, they almost blew it, and yeah, there are roster questions. But Jokic's performance, especially that third quarter, it's just undeniable proof of why people call him the best in the world. He's the engine driving this whole thing.
He absolutely is. So it makes you think, right, for you listening, what does it tell you about a player when they can have this kind of impact? Carrying a team that seems to have these weaknesses, does seeing this change how you think about individual greatness versus like overall team strength?
It's a great question. And you got to wonder, is relying this heavily on one guy, even Jokic, sustainable for a whole playoff run? It's something to keep an eye on, for sure.
Exactly.
And hey, if you found this look at Jokic and the Nuggets interesting, make sure to like and subscribe, because we'll be doing more deep dives like this throughout the playoffs.
And one last thought to leave you with. Given everything we've seen, how Jokic lifts his team despite the challenges, is just looking at team success, like championships, always the fairest way to judge how truly great an individual player is. Something to chew on.